Let me ask you something important. Have you ever sat in your doctor's office, looked at your blood test results, and heard these exact words? Everything looks normal, and you walked out feeling relieved, maybe even happy, but then, weeks later, you still feel exhausted. Your heart is still racing at night. Your legs still feel heavy. And you think to yourself, if everything is normal, why do I feel so wrong? Here's what nobody is telling you. The normal range on your blood test was not designed for your body. It was designed for the average person, and average might be slowly killing you. Today, I'm going to show you 3 specific numbers on your blood test that your doctor calls normal, but are actually screaming that something is wrong inside your body. Stay with me until the end, because number 3 is the one that shocks people the most. And if you have this number in your report right now, you need to act today. Before I reveal these 3 numbers, I need to explain something that will change how you look at blood tests forever. You see this piece of paper? Every number here has a range, like TSH 0.4 to 4.0, or fasting glucose 70 to 100. And if your number falls anywhere inside that range, your doctor stamps it normal and moves on. But here's the dirty secret they don't teach you. These ranges were calculated by testing thousands of people and taking the average. That means people who were already sick were included in that average. Normal means you are not an emergency. It does not mean your body is functioning at its best. There is a huge difference between normal and optimal. And that gap between normal and optimal is where disease silently grows. For years, without any symptoms, until one day it becomes a heart attack, or a stroke, or diabetes. So let's look at the 3 numbers right now. Number 1 is something 90% of people never question, but it could explain every symptom you've been ignoring. Let's go. Blood test number 1 that is lying to you is your TSH level. TSH stands for thyroid stimulating hormone, and your thyroid is literally the engine of your entire body. It controls your energy, your metabolism, your heart rate, your brain function, your body temperature, your mood, even your cholesterol levels, everything. Now, the standard lab range for TSH is 0.4 to 4.0. So if your TSH comes back as 3.8, your doctor says, normal, see you next year. But here's what the research actually shows. The optimal TSH range for a healthy, energetic, disease-free life is between 1.0 and 2.0. That's it, 1.0 to 2.0. So if your TSH is 3.5, technically normal by lab standards, but your thyroid is working 4 times harder than it should be, just to keep you functioning. Think about that. Your engine is overheating every single day, and nobody told you. This is why you feel tired even after 8 hours of sleep, cold when everyone else is warm, like your brain is wrapped in fog, like losing weight is impossible, like your hair is falling out for no reason, like your heart sometimes beats too slow or too fast. Does this sound familiar? If it does, your TSH might be in the normal zone, but it is not in the optimal zone. Here is what I want you to do. Next time you get blood work, don't just ask if it's normal. Ask your doctor, is my TSH between 1.0 and 2.0? And watch their reaction. Also, ask for a free T3 and free T4 test, because TSH alone tells only half the story. A TSH test without T3 and T4 is like checking the fuel gauge but never looking at the engine. Now, number 2 is even more dangerous, because this one is directly connected to heart attacks. And most doctors are using the wrong measurement entirely. Stay with me, because I'm also going to tell you the one simple thing you can add to your morning routine that naturally pushes all 3 of these numbers into the optimal zone. Coming up in just a few minutes, a blood test number 2 that is lying to you is your cholesterol, but not in the way you think. You've probably been told, keep your LDL below 100, keep your HDL above 60, you're fine, right? Here's the problem. Standard cholesterol tests only tell you how much cholesterol is in your blood. They do not tell you what type of cholesterol it is. Let me explain this simply. Imagine your arteries are like a highway, and cholesterol particles are like cars on that highway. Now, big, fluffy LDL particles are like large trucks. They move through your arteries smoothly. They don't get stuck. They don't cause damage. But small, dense LDL particles are like tiny, sharp pebbles. They squeeze into the walls of your arteries. They cause inflammation. They build plaque. They cause heart attacks. Here's the shocking part. Your standard cholesterol test cannot tell the difference. You could have an LDL of 90, which looks perfect on paper. But if those are all small, dense particles, you are in serious danger. I want you to think about this. 50% of people who have heart attacks have normal cholesterol levels. 50%. Half. Because their doctor only checked the total amount, not the type. So here's what you need to ask for. Ask for an NMR lipoprofile test or a VAP cholesterol test. These tests show you the size of your LDL particles, not just the number. Also, ask for your ApoB level. This predicts heart risk better than LDL alone. And your LPA, pronounced LP(a). This is a genetic cholesterol marker that massively increases heart attack risk. And 99% of doctors never test for it. If you are over 45 years old and you have never had your LPA checked, you do not truly know your heart attack risk, period. So remember, normal LDL does not mean safe heart. Ask for particle size testing. Ask for ApoB. Ask for LPA. Write these down. Now we come to number 3. And I warned you at the beginning. This one is the most shocking, because this number is something almost every person over 50 has tested, and almost every doctor is reading it wrong. In fact, when I show you the real optimal range for this number, you might want to go pull out your old blood test results right now. Let's go. Blood test number 3, the one that is silently lying to the most people, is your fasting blood glucose. The standard normal range is 70 to 100 milligrams per deciliter. So your doctor looks at your result, sees 98, and says, you're normal, no diabetes, you're fine. But here's what they are not telling you. A fasting glucose of 90 to 100 is already showing signs of insulin resistance. Your body is already struggling to manage sugar. It is not fine. The optimal fasting glucose for a truly healthy person is between 70 and 85. Not 99, not 95, 70 to 85. Let me explain what's happening in your body. When your fasting glucose is creeping above 85, even though it's technically normal, imagine your cells have doors, and insulin is the key that opens those doors to let sugar inside for energy. When your glucose is consistently between 85 and 100, your cells are starting to ignore the key. The locks are getting rusty, so your pancreas panics and produces more insulin to try to force the doors open. This stage is called pre-diabetes. Doctors rarely warn you about it because, technically, you're normal, but your body is already on a 5 to 10 year path toward full type 2 diabetes, heart disease, kidney damage, nerve damage, all while your blood test says normal. Here's what you also need to ask for. Number 1, fasting insulin level. Not just glucose, insulin. Your fasting insulin should be below 5 micro-IU per milliliter. If it's above 10, your body is already working overtime to control sugar, even if your glucose looks normal. Number 2, your HbA1c. This shows your average blood sugar over 3 months. Optimal is below 5.4%. Not 5.7, not 5.6. Below 5.4. If you're between 5.4 and 5.7, you are in the warning zone, even though your doctor may say nothing. I'll be honest with you. The reason I'm telling you all of this today is because I've seen too many people who felt something was wrong, went to the doctor, were told they were normal, and stopped looking for answers. Don't stop looking. Your body is smarter than any range on a piece of paper. If you feel wrong, something is wrong. And these numbers might be exactly where to look. Now, I promised you earlier that I'd share one simple morning habit. That helps push all 3 of these numbers toward optimal, and I keep my promises. Here's what the research consistently shows. Morning movement within 30 minutes of waking. Not an hour at the gym. Not running a marathon. Just 10 minutes of walking. Or light stretching. Or even marching in place in your kitchen. Here's what that does to your blood. It lowers fasting glucose by signaling your muscles to absorb sugar without insulin. It improves thyroid hormone conversion from T4 to active T3. It increases HDL, the good cholesterol, and helps shift LDL particles from small and dense to large and fluffy. The second thing, add apple cider vinegar to your morning routine. 1 tablespoon in a glass of water before your first meal. Research from Arizona State University shows this. Reduces post-meal blood sugar spikes by up to 34%. 34% from 1 tablespoon. And third, ask your doctor for a complete thyroid panel, not just TSH. TSH, free T3, free T4, and reverse T3. If they won't order it, you can order it yourself online through private labs. You deserve complete information about your own body. Let me quickly recap what we covered today. Number 1, TSH. Normal range, 0.4 to 4.0. Optimal range, 1.0 to 2.0. Ask for free T3 and free T4 too. Number 2, cholesterol. Standard tests only show quantity, not particle size. Ask for NMR lipoprofile, ApoB, and LPA. Number 3, fasting blood glucose. Normal, up to 100. Optimal, 70 to 85. Ask for fasting insulin and HbA1c too. Listen, I know it can feel overwhelming. You trust your doctor, and you should work with your doctor. But the best thing you can do for your health is become an educated patient. Ask questions. Ask for more tests. Don't just accept normal if you don't feel normal. Your body has been sending you signals. Now you have the knowledge to understand them. Take this information to your next appointment. Print it out if you have to. Write these numbers down, because knowing the difference between normal and optimal could be the most important thing you do for your health this year. If this video opened your eyes today, please hit that like button right now, because it helps more people find this information, people who need it. And if you have a family member or friend who always gets told everything is normal, but still doesn't feel right, share this video with them today. You might literally save their life. And subscribe if you haven't already. Because every week I bring you the real information that helps you live longer, stronger, and healthier. And watch this video next, because it reveals the breakfast combination that spikes your blood sugar, even in people who don't have diabetes. I am James Ray. See you there. Stay healthy. Stay informed. I'll see you in the next one.